excitement here today that'll be in next year's highlights, I'm sure. And this is the man that provided it in a double roll-off. 2 frames each after a 2:05 tie with Earl Anthony. This man strung 4 in a row to win. And he gets an opening strike in the title game. Couture, who then went on to defeat Gary Dickinson 198 to 179. And the man he eliminated, Earl Anthony, had won the first match against Mark Roth 221 to 192. Typical action of the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
Opportunity of a lifetime for both players. Steve Cook, Pete Couture, $30,000 hangs in the balance.
Fills up your screen at 6'6", 259 pounds. Oh, what a powerful strike. After waiting a long time, we earlier asked Steve how mentally prepared he was for one game.
I'm prepared, but just going out, I'm just going to go out there and be really aggressive. And, you know, that $30,000 right now is mine, and they're going to have to come out and just beat me to get it.
Well, I'd hate to have to try to take it away from him. 6'6", 260 pounds, a powerful guy, a great young bowler. You're going to hear a lot from him. His first big opportunity.
Physically, I doubt if anybody could take it away from him. But they're bowling, not boxing or wrestling. There he is in the left lane. Can he double? Just like that, the tournament leader. A long wait because of a 2-frame roll-off, which added to the wait.
Here we see powerful Steve Cook, and he hits the same place that Earl Anthony hit and cost Earl Anthony the week 7. Cook with tremendous power, tremendous hook on the ball, drives the 7-pin out with that awesome power that he does possess.
And remember, ABC's Wide World of Sports follows. Championship welterweight bout featuring Tommy Hearns, preview of the Kentucky Derby. And the man going for his first individual major title leaves a 4, 6, 7, 10.
Looking down at his thumb, after a game and a half already out there, he's bowled really 2.5 games with that roll-off. Seems to have a thumb problem. His thumb may be swelling.
So he covers 2 of the 4, and it's 26 for Couture through the 2nd frame.
What a great sport bowling is. Look at the contrast we have out here for its most prestigious title. A lefty and a righty, a man who is 140 pounds, another man who is 260 pounds, a fellow that is 24 years old in Steve Cook, and Pete Couture at age 35.
Re-rack on the left lane, giving Pete a chance to dry that bowling hand. Take a look at the thumb, now insert it. He's ready. Needs a strike. A 10.
The first solid tap that Couture's had in this afternoon's action, Chris, the solid 10. He seems to be quite a bit drained out there. He must regain his composure and go after this title. You just can't give away a $30,000 match. You have to be aggressive.
Pete Couture, whose tempo has changed, moving around very quickly instead of that nice relaxed pace that he had earlier. As we look at big Steve Cook, who is mic'd. The bowlers are given an option to wear it or not. So let's see if from time to time we can get a verbal reaction from 24-year-old Steve Cook of Roseville, California. Two titles in 4 years as a PBA member. Reaction, though, after that ball hits.
The big man, the great profile. Watch this cocked wrist. Watch the position at the top of the swing. Then the deep knee bend, even though he's 6'6", the tremendous extension. Look at how far he reached through that ball. The wrist snap. He overpowered the pins. He has a 34-pin lead as he pats a little rosin on the thumb hole so he doesn't drop the ball.
4th frame now. There is Candy Cook, mother of 2. Pins just dance. The $30,000 to the winner. In a long Tournament of Champions live from Akron, Ohio, because of a two-frame roll-off that Couture won over Earl Anthony to go into the semifinal and then defeat Gary Dickinson, and now against the tournament leader Steve Cook, and because of Steve's 4 in a row, trailing by 44. Good, he had a spare working, so that's strike number 2 for Couture. That one coming in the 4th frame.
Pete Couture has had a great day. He started in number 3 position, much like Wayne Webb did last year, and as Webb went on to win the title. But right now, Couture and Cook are definitely a way apart. After 4 frames, Cook, who's working on his ball, has a 44-pin lead. He's perfect through 4 frames. Pete Couture and Chris, he has to get going here. Cook has been awesome, has not missed. Couture has a chance to cut that lead from 44 down to 34 with a double.
So that double. Oh, talking to them. Does that help, Bo?
I don't know. He must have been watching Marshall Holman.
Little guys are feisty.
Here's a man who does not want that $30,000 to get away from him. He's on his own out here on the tour, has a wife, 2 children that both travel with him. $30,000 could change his life at this point. Just 24 years old.
Prior to today, he had finished 19th in both the U.S. Open and the True Value Open. Won his first title, Alameda, 79, defeating Earl Anthony. This is the title game. $30,000 to the winner. The runner-up, $17,000.
Candy Cook, she almost looked like she wanted to cry when her husband threw that ball in the pocket. Steve Cook, perfect through 5, has a 44-pin lead. $30,000 at stake in his first major title. Reminds me of some of the right-handers we've had on the telecast this year, such as Holman and other power players.
Right here. Shot.
Well, you heard 6'6" Steve talking. Halfway.
Chris, my statistician, Palmer Falgren, has been with me all 7 years up here, predicted that Steve Cook would start with 7 in a row. How did he know? It's only 6 yet. Cook looks at the scoreboard. He's perfect. Couture has his back to the wall. Trails by 54, but there's still 4 big frames left.
Palmer's going to give up all the pressure and run Don Carter's All-Star Lanes Pro Shop in Boca Raton. Wish you luck, Palmer. Oh, all but the 2-pin. We're running long because of a 2-frame roll-off here at the Riviera Lanes, and immediately following, when we determine the champion, look at that, the WBA World Welterweight Championship, undefeated Tommy Hearns. I think he's the best fighter around. 5th-ranked Randy Shields, and a preview of the Derby, which always happens the first Saturday in May, which is covered by ABC, and that'll immediately follow our telecast. We are running over.
A drained Pete Couture is working at a 195 pace. Steve Cook is perfect through 6. Firestone Tournament of Champions, final round.
All right, a 7th frame strike, but a commanding lead by Steve Cook. 6 strikes, now shooting in the 7th frame.
With 1 more strike, Cook could just about settle the issue. It's just by how many. How can anyone forget the famous 11 in a row by Don Johnson here in 1970 in a championship match, only to leave the 10-pin in 299.
Now you can count them. 7 in a row. Now things are really perking up here, and of course, after a first-time 2-frame roll-off, if he can get 5 more. Sponsored by the PBA itself, a $10,000 bonus. Should he be able to do it?
Chris, and who can forget Jack Biondolillo, the perfect game 300 on this pair of lanes. He won 10,000. Cook can still pick up an extra 10,000 for a perfect game.
8th frame.
Good shot, yeah!
4 to go, and Big Steve Cook is pumped up. Look at that crowd. Long way yet to go as Couture is up with a strike in the 7th now in the 8th frame.
It's all academic, Chris. Remember the sensational match last night where Gary Dickinson beat Mark Roth 300 to 298. We've seen it all here today. Couture just trying to get out of the way. He gets an 8-10 split. He's going to pick up $17,000 per second, which is not a bad paycheck. He's just being very courteous to Steve Cook right now and trying to get it over with as quickly as possible.
And, of course, Cook is the man that could perhaps do it, in addition to winning a Firestone title, a first major.
I'll tell you, credit to Pete Couture. He's had a great day, defeated 2 other great champions. He's going to finish 2nd, but the courtesy shown Cook, who has this big string going, is tremendous.
But that's the type of guy 35-year-old Pete Couture is, from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Now Cook checking with Harry Golden. He'll be shooting in the 9th frame, 8 in a row. Exciting things always happen at the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Had it good.
Chris, 4 frames away from bowling immortality. A perfect game at the Firestone. What could be a greater setting?
Good shot. Good shot.
Good shot. 9 in a row, and look at this crowd at the Riviera Lanes. We're live from Fairlawn, a suburb of Akron, Ohio. And it was Couture that had a 300 in the 4th round of this year's event. Now, 10th frame.
What pressure must be on this young man? He's already got the Firestone locked up, but it's just by how much, and can he get that perfect game? We haven't seen one in 7 years. 1974 was the last one on Pro Bowlers Tour.
I don't think I've ever seen more powerful strikes. 10 of them. Just unbelievable.
Chris, I've never seen a player in any sport come out so aggressive, so determined. You have no idea what it's like to be standing in that young man's shoes right now. All the nerves, all the thoughts of a lifetime going through his head. He needs 2 strikes for the perfect game.
Better than 1,000 words.
Good shot here, Steve.
But for a 10-bagger, a standing ovation in bowling's most important championship, and in the final game, 10 in a row, leading a 6-7, but he'll be in the 280s, but more important, he has won the 17th Firestone Tournament of Champions and a check for $30,000.